friend.
Okay. I'm back, right? Yeah. So int a equal to 20, b equal to 30. If a greater than b, so a means, so what is the output here?
False.
False. False means where it will go, cursor?
Else statement.
Else block. Else block.
Block.
So this is a block, right? This is the block. Okay.
Mhm.
So else block it will go. So here we have written one statement. How many statements you write in this block? All statement will execute. So then if a less than b, so now a less than b means true or false?
True.
True. So then if block will execute. So this will skip. Else block will skip. Only this block will execute. Next. So int a equal to 40, b equal to 30, c equal to 100. If a greater than 10 or b greater than 12, so this code, else this code will execute. So a greater than 10, that's a true. B greater than 12, 30 greater than true. True or true? What is the output?
True.
True. So then if block will execute. Here, if you see there, if a less than 10 and b greater than 12. So that means 40 less than 10. True or false?
False.
And b greater than 12.
True.
So now this one, what is the output here?
False.
False, because this is the false and this is a true. False and true. False and true, what is the output?
False.
False. So false means cursor will come into else block. So these are the how the code is, which block it is going, which block it is executing. You mentally so calculate these things. Then you can understand how it is going, where it is executing, all those things. Okay. So the next one, we have seen if condition, if else condition, nested if else condition. So nested if else. So we will discuss if else if ladder and also the flow chart of it. So we'll see one by one. So if else statement is if block of statement will be executed if the given condition is true. Otherwise, else block of the statement will be executed. Suppose you want to execute so more than one condition, different codes you want to execute based on the different conditions. Then if else doesn't help you. So more conditions based on the different statements. So you want to execute, then so you need to use if else if ladder or nested if else you have to use. Nested if else you have to use. So basically this nested if else always executed from the top down, from top to bottom. It will execute this nested if else. So only if you want to run multiple conditions, you want to check one condition is not true, then it has to go to next condition. So that's a nested. So one by one it has to check. Then you will use this nested if else. And otherwise you should not use this. During the execution of conditions, if any condition found true, then the statements associated with that so will be executed. The rest of the code automatically skipped. If first condition is true, the rest of the block of other conditions will be skipped automatically. So that's this nested if else, how it will export. See what is the structure. So if condition, so then if condition 1 is true, this code will execute. Else if condition 2, next statement will execute. Else if next condition, else if next condition, else, so this one will execute. So if else if ladder statement is, so basically if condition 1 is true, that statements will execute. Else, if for example condition 1 is false, it will go to condition 2. If condition 2 is true, that condition 2 statements will execute. So if condition 2 is false, again it will go to condition 3. So it's one by one it will keep checking. If it is, for example, first one itself true, all these conditions will be skipped automatically. And this will execute and it will exit. Suppose this is not true, it will come here. Condition 2 is true. That statement will execute, remaining will be skipped and it will exit. So if this is also not true, then only it will go to next condition. If this condition is true, it will skip. It won't go next conditions. So that is the nested if else conditions, how it will execute. Here is the structure. It's a complex structure. Basically, if condition 1, so curly bracket and curly bracket in between condition 1 statements. Else, so there is a one space between else and if here. Else and if in between one space only you have to give. Then condition 2. If condition 2 is true, then these statements will execute. Else if condition 3, then condition 3 statements will execute. So if condition 3 is not true, it will go to another else if. Condition 4 will check. If it is true, condition 4 statements and so on. You can write multiple conditions. So, and you can know if all these conditions are not true, the else part will execute. The else part will execute. So that is the conditions, different conditions, how they will execute. So here is the example. Find out in ABC which one is big. So you can write conditions like this. If A greater than B and A greater than C. If A is greater than B and A greater than C, then only you can say A is big. Else if, so B greater than C and B greater than A, then you can say B is big. Else if C greater than A and C greater than B, then you can say C is big. Else, an invalidate I can say. Maybe you can create a parameterized method for this. Okay. Create a parameterized method for this and then write the logic inside a one method. That's the one thing. And so another program, the following program, if else demo assigns a grade based on the value of a test score. So that we are going to write. Okay, I'll take an example of this one and I'll show you that. So there is one more exercise. You can try this one. So a lot of programs are here. You need to write all this in a separate methods. So don't give up writing the methods. So write the method and see you have to write a program that interprets the body mass index. You need to find out the BMI based on weight and height. That means these are the two inputs for your method. So weight and height is the input for your method, and you need to calculate the body mass index. Then he is giving all conditions. See that. Based on it, you write a program. It should tell them the interpretation of their BMI based on the BMI value. So for example, if BMI is 18 under 18.5, then you just print they are underweight. So else, if the BMI value is greater than 18.5 and so less than 25, then you can say normal weight. And again, one more else if. So if it is BMI is greater than 25 and less than 30, then you can say slightly overweight. And else if, so BMI is greater than 30 and less than 35, then they are obese. And else if greater than 35 and they are clinically obese. So these are the, based on the conditions, you have to print all these messages. Okay, so it's very clearly, these are the messages also they have given here. See how to calculate BMI. So total weight divided by height square. So what is the formula? So how you can calculate the BMI? So here they have given already. So BMI is calculated by dividing the person's weight in kgs by the square of the height in meters. Okay, so that's the formula also given, and so write a nested if else program for this program, and see everything you have to check. If BMI is 18, you are underweight. Your BMI is 22. So this you cannot just say that the value you have to give here the parameter name, BMI parameter name. So you have to, it has to come BMI parameter name here. Okay. So, but remaining these statements are correct. So that I want to see a nested if else program for this. Okay. Practice this and write and send it to me tomorrow. This program. So any questions here?
Nope, sounds good.
You have to take two parameters. What are the two parameters? You create
Weight and height.
parameterized method for this. Okay.
Mhm.
Parameterized method you have to create. First parameter is a weight, second parameter is a height. And all conditions are available here. And then print those values. But don't hard code these values, okay? This is just an example. In place of this, what you need to give in your statement, you have to use your BMI variable name here. Your BMI variable name here. Automatically, whatever the BMI is there, that will print, okay? So you should not hard code. We don't know what BMI you will get, right? What weight you will give, what height you will give. Based on that, you will get a BMI. So that BMI based, you write the conditions, all nested if else conditions. So the syntax also I have given here. Also you have, so nested if else. You can follow this also. So another one also there, but you can just write this one. Okay, this is the easy one. So these are complex, and you can avoid this. But I have given a so the diagram also you can use this diagram. Based on the diagram, we can develop so this program also. See, this is the program I have given, flow chart I have given. Based on this, you can develop this program also. You can tell whether so this is a leap year or not, right? So this is the flow diagrams, how you can create. So this flow diagram really helps you. Based on this also, you can design the programs. See, this is the if else, okay? If. So this is the if conditions. This so pyramid shape, right? These are the conditions. So if the given year is cleanly divisible by 4, Yes means another condition one more condition will come. No means you can just say simply in the first level itself, not a leap year. So like this, you need to develop every level. So this based on these diagrams also you can write. So I'll explain that maybe if you, so, but this one is easy. You can build this one. I'll explain this one. Okay. Next. So we have, there are so many I have given, but it's up to you. Are not required all. If you write one and remaining is easy. So remaining is easy. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Next, last one. Switch case. So switch case is similar to if else if ladder only. If else if ladder, it's almost similar, no change at all. To reduce the code complexity of if else if ladder. If else if ladder, you have more curly brackets, right? So that complex. So to avoid that, you can use a switch statement. So switch statement is alternative to if else if ladder. So switch statement executes one block of statement from multiple blocks of statements based on the condition again. So we have a number of choices. So there are choices here, each case. So, and switch variable or expression you can write, curly bracket, case, value 1, colon, and you can code inside the case value and break it. If this value is matching with this variable or expression, then this case will execute. And after that, it will break. Break is basically exit the switch case. So case value 2. And for example, this is not matching with this variable or expression, it will go to case 2. If this is true and this break statement will execute, then so like that all the cases will check. If any case is true, and the entire switch block will exit because there is a break. Break means okay, terminate, don't go next further. That's a break means. So it will terminate here. Is whenever break executes, it will terminate that entire block. Exits the entire block. That's the break statement means. And for example, all these cases are not true, then default block will execute. Like you have in the nested if else, you have else block, right? All if all are done, all those conditions are not true. Finally, else block will execute. That else block is here default block. It's similar. So each case is there is a condition there in the nested if else. Here we are calling case 1, case 2, and so on. Every case after we are writing a break statement. So what will happen if you don't write? If you don't write a break here, so this is true and this is false. Still, there is no break here and this also will execute. False one you should not execute, right? But still it will execute if you don't write break on top of that. So to avoid that, you add break for every case after. So whichever is true, that will terminate there itself. It won't go to unnecessary blocks, which are not true. The rules for switch statement is, so the expression, this expression can be an integer numbers, enum types, string types, and some other wrapper classes. So wrapper classes are, we have a primitive. How many primitive data types we have?
Well, we have 4 different varieties, but then they each encompass, so integers, we have byte, short, int, and long. Then we have floating point, which involves float and double. Then we have Boolean, and then we have char for characters.
Right? Those are total 8.
Mhm.
So 8 primitive data types has 8 wrapper classes. So you know class naming conventions. What are the class naming conventions?
Access modifier, static or non-static, void or non-void.
No.
Then
What I
sorry?
asked, sir, what I asked you? The
Class, you
class
mentioned.
naming conventions I asked, but
Oh, just class naming. Oh, my bad.
yeah.
Capitalized letter to begin with, and then every
Yeah. Right?
first letter gets capitalized.
Yeah. See, this is the data type, right? Byte.
Mhm.
So the same class for that byte is byte.
Okay. Mhm.
This is the class. This is a class. This is not a data type. Okay.
Mhm.
It's not a primitive data type, but this is a class name
Mhm.
for the byte primitive, and a short wrapper class. Integer, not integer wrapper
Mhm.
class. Long wrapper class. Character wrapper class. Boolean wrapper class. Float double wrapper classes will be there. So primitive data types are all short, okay, the smaller cases, but the class naming conventions are followed for the classes. So only char into the naming convention, the classes, the integer will come, and for character will come, but remaining all same. Okay, but only
Mhm.
capital letter will be there in the beginning letter of each one. So either these ones only can use as a switch case expressions, but you cannot do on the Boolean, you cannot do on the character, you cannot do on the float and double this expression in the switch statement. Only either these are enum types, strings, or wrapper classes. So you can create any number of cases in the switch statement. The case value must be a literal or constant. So this is this one. A case value is must be a literal or constant value. So anything you can write. So every case after, you better to write a break statement, but even though they told optional, I suggest to write a break statement. So, and all the statements are no, not true, then default case will export. So this is the diagram. Switch block expression. If expression and this case one both are true, then if those are matched, this code will execute, and break will execute and exit entire block, entire switch block. This entire block will skip. For example, this value and this case one is not matching, then it will go to case 2. Case 2 and value is matched, that block will execute and break it. So then like that, all the cases will check. If all these cases are not matching, then it will go to default block. So the default block will execute and exits. So this is the how your code will be executed. So for example, I have written a method here. I want to know the input character is a vowel or consonant. I want to find out. How can you find out? So this is the one. Switch. See the parameter name I am passing. If the character is a, so what I'm saying, it's a vowel, then break it. So for example, if the entered character is not a, and it will go and check in the next case. If it is equal to e, and this code will execute, then break it. So if these two are not true, it will go to case I. If these three are not true, it will go to case O. And all these are not true, it will go to case U. And then if all these are not true, it will go to default block saying entered character is not a vowel. So then switch block will end here. So this is the simple program. Okay. So I'll create another program, prepare a calculator. Based on that, I'll write a program for this also, and we'll see that. Okay. Let's go and create the programs so that we can write at least a few. So again, I'll write the methods. What type of methods you want? You want me to write a static methods or non-static methods? What type of methods? Again, I'm going to write it. For each concept, one method I'll create. And I'm not going to give up the methods because methods is the top priority. You should be very strong on how to create the methods. Okay, I'll create a new package. So control structure. Programs. So then right click. So create a new class. Conditional statements demo. Okay. So I don't need anything in the main method because I have to create the method. So I asked you, but nobody answered what type of methods you want.
If we're doing multiple, let's start with one static.
Static. So give me static method syntax.
We have access modifier, static. Do we do with void or without void?
Yeah. Void, right? So we just want
okay. So void method name.
Right. So parameters will take, okay, 2 parameters will take because I need to give A value and B value, right? So then only condition can be so decided. So private static void if demo int A, comma int B. So you can just write executing the if demo. See that one condition you want to use. So I'll use if A greater than B. So I can say simply I'm inside A greater than B condition. So if you want to write something, A is bigger than B plus I want to print A. So if you want to write one more condition, I have to write another separate condition. So because if it is false, you cannot execute, right? With this if A less than B, I have to write. So I can just reuse these statements and I'll change A less than B condition. A is so A is B is right. B is
bigger than A. Yeah.
Bigger than A. So for example, I want to write one more. If so, A double equal to B, I'll simply say that I'm inside A double equal to B condition, and A is equal to B, then print anything. Okay, fine. So that's it. All these different conditions you can write like this, right? And then, for example, I want to write direct. These are the expressions you have written. So I want to give directly this one, Boolean value. So inside direct Boolean value, true. Inside negating or inverting the false value. That's it. End of if demo. So you can execute this. So the static method, how can you execute the static method? Static parameterized method under main method.
Yeah, call the static method name.
Yeah, just call the, you can write that formulas, okay? So calling static void parameterized method. Just follow those formulas and question and answer. What is the answer? So static method name. What is that I have given? P1 value, comma,
P2 value.
P2 value. So that's right like this so that you will get a better idea. So now you give practice like this so that it will be 45, 25. See the code, how it will execute, what statements will execute, what statement won't execute. So how do I know this? Only this executed. And then it went to this one. And it went to this one. Now, how do you know which part is executing, which part is not executing? So in order to know that, there is a concept. So you want to understand where it is going cursor, where it is jumping, all this. If you want to understand that, that is called debugging. What we call that? Step by step you want to execute, line by line code you want to execute. Then you can run in debug mode. So if you want to run your code line by line, so what we need to do? First, you need to check your breakpoint. You need to place the breakpoint. So breakpoint means just put here. So this is the one. Can you see this? So just double click which line onwards you want to execute by you one by one. Now it is automatically program is executing, right? Computer is executing, not in your hand. If you run the program, are you controlling that?
No.
So already computer executed and given output immediately to you. But if you put this a toggle breakpoint, then it will come and stop in this line only. Then you have to interact. You can just tell, okay, go next line, next line, next line, go next line, next line. You can tell that. Then line by line code, you can see where it is going cursor. That is called debug mode. Executing your code line by line in your presence. You can control that. So that is called debug mode. How to run the program in debug mode you should be very, very clear and you should understand that nicely. How to do that? What is the first, if you want to run in debug mode, what you need to do? First, place the toggle breakpoint in your main method, where the method is. So this method inside you want to run. So that method inside you place a breakpoint first. Then, so after that, you right click. So there is an option, can you see here? Debug as. Not where you using now run as. But if you want to run in debug mode, you have to use a debug as Java application. Then it will come there. See, it will ask, this pop-up will come. Now you are in the Java perspective. This is the Java perspective. Now it will move to debug perspective. Switch. See, cursor will, highlightation is moved to where? Bug icon. That is a debug perspective. See, now it stopped at the 7th line. So you see, it is in the running mode. Can you see? This red mark means it's a running mode. So it stopped there. That means now your intervention is important here. To continue, next lines. See your variable values. A value. What is the A value? 45. B value 25. You can see your variable values also. Right? Now, then how to move? You can see in the toolbar. This is the toolbar, right? So there is a, you can see here, step into, step over. So F6 you can press to go to next line. So you see, click on this. See cursor, where it come? From the 7th to 9th it jumped. Now condition is true, right? True or false condition?
True.
45 greater than 25, true. So where it will go now?
To the next line.
Which line?
10.
10. So that means you should say inside the A greater than B block. A greater than B, you block inside, it will go. Because this condition is true, it will enter inside the block, if block. See, that statement will execute now. See, that statement executed and printed that out. Because it's a print statement, that's why printing in the console. If this is not a print statement, it won't print. Next, print. Next to 14. Now, what will happen?
It's false. So it's probably going to skip it.
Now, where it will go?
Hopefully to line 19.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. See, it jumps to 19. So that means 15, 16 not executed because this condition is false. Now here also, what will happen here?
Should skip this and go to line 24.
Yeah, exactly. See, it jumped and directly jumped to 25 because it's already true. So then it executed. Next. See, here also. So after all this, final this one. Then that method ending. This is the method ending. Now, so this, so executed. Now it came to main method. Main method, no, nothing is there. So main method will be ended here. Ended. So that's all. This see. Now this is not in red color. See, it's completed. Main method execution is over means the program execution is over. So it's not in red color, gray color. Gray color means it's program execution is over. So this is how to run in debug mode, line by line code. And developers, testers, automation testers should be familiar with this concept because you don't know where it is failing. How you can debug that? By running in debug mode. And from the debug mode, you can come back. Click on this Java perspective mode. You can come back to normal mode. You can go to debug mode. So switch over between these. So that's how to run in debug mode. Okay. So tomorrow we'll see rest of the programs and practice this debug mode also. Very important. Okay.